I'm right here in the Golan Heights, and behind me there's beautiful trees, and I'm standing on the grass of the Golan Heights near Katzrin because I'm going to deal with a very painful issue today. I'm going to take you all the way to the border between Israel and Syria to show you what's taking place right now at this very moment near the borders between Israel and Syria, where the Syrian regime is attacking the rebels, the people that are running away from Dara and all other places in Syria. They're running away towards the Israeli borders. They seeking shelter from the Israelis. They hope to get some safe haven in the area near the borders between Israel and Syria. But now the Syrian regime is really cruel, and together with its proxies, together with Iran, with Hezbollah, and above all Russia, are going now, and they're definitely, by this moment, already 24 hours, they're actually smashing and crashing the rebels by the borders of Israel. They are shooting big bombs, missiles, rockets, mortars throughout the whole region over there. In the old Quneitra, some people try to find shelter, but the old Quneitra is being bombarded. All along the Israeli border, just about 100 and 150 yards away from the border, they're shooting mortars. And we have also heard and seen Russian Air Force is bombarding airborne attacks throughout the whole region over there. And I'll try to go as close as I can to show you what's going on there, so we'll know what to do, how to pray about it. Obviously, we need your help and support because there are a lot of people that are wounded and injured in this war right now, and they rush them to the Israeli field hospital not far from the border. Through that gate, they're taken into Israeli hospitals to be taken care of. Just like a few months ago, you saw and helped to the Ziv hospital in Tzfat that treated those refugees, the injured children, and the people that are coming from the other side. Now all our hospitals up here in the north are literally packed with wounded soldiers of the rebels and wounded civilians. A lot of women and children are finding their death right now, but many of them are badly injured, and the only cure they can find is right here in Israel. So keep helping us, keep praying, and please keep sowing, because the money goes to save innocent people's lives.
This is Israel's border with Syria. Just over that fence, Syrian land, and just a few miles down the road, a village where rebels are fighting government forces. In the past 3 years, more than 2,000 wounded Syrians have crossed the border for treatment. And instead of stopping them, the Israeli Defense Forces helped them, patching up wounds, sending the seriously ill or wounded to the hospital 18 miles away.
We're here in the Ziv Medical Center in Tzfat, together with Dr. Peter Gilby. And Dr. Gilby is actually one of those angels that are taking care of the Syrian children.
Well, I'm head of ear, nose and throat here in the hospital. So we're responsible for all the Syrians who have head and neck injuries. And we also take care of very many Syrian children who have hearing problems as a result of the war. And these are children who, in many cases, have almost no hearing at all. And while their contemporaries are going off to school, they stay at home and in many cases have no decent rehabilitation, no hearing aids, no cochlear implants, no access to experienced audiologists. And they end up being at home, very limited functioning, or talking to their families with very basic sign language, which basically they've worked out for themselves. And these children are in great need of our help.
How can the House of Destiny help improve the conditions that you faced?
What we need is better diagnostic facilities. We need a hearing booth, especially for the testing of the Syrian children. We need to be able to give them high-level hearing aids and send them back home, hopefully in a much better condition than they arrived.
Can you imagine? They are at home, they cannot go out, bombs and mortars and shells are falling all over the place. It's terrible.
Absolutely. I've heard stories from mothers whose 6-7-year-old children are staying at home while all the other children in the village who are the same age are going off to the first year of school. And these are very tragic cases. And it's actually quite possible to help these children who have nothing. This is a unique humanitarian effort that's going on here. We have the opportunity to help these children from this very troubled area where sometimes it seems that no one cares, but we're doing our bit to help them, and every bit of help that we can get from you and from other like-minded people would be an enormous help to us and to them. So again, thank you very much.
I'm standing here in the city of Tzfat, and this is the northern Galilee of Israel. Right behind me is the Israeli Central Command for the North, where in the last few nights, very strategic and tactical discussions were taking place amongst the Israeli heads of security and the Northern Command, what to do with the situation that evolves right now in the southern part of the Syrian Golan next to the Israeli borders. Syria is launching, Assad is launching an attack over the rebels, so-called, these freedom fighters that were trying to get away from him, and his bombing and his chemical weapons. And now he's launching a huge attack throughout the whole southern Golan of the Syrian side, and he's pushing more and more of his people on towards the borders of Israel. The rebels, they cannot control most of the areas. He launched a huge raid over Da'a, where the whole war started almost 7 years ago, and he's pushing more and more of his people towards Quneitra and the Israeli Golan side. For many years, together also with your help, you know very well that Israel used to give humanitarian aid and help to those refugees, to the people that were wounded and injured, that were brought here to the hospital in Tzfat, to the Ziv hospital, and we've shown you how you've sown a big seed into helping those Syrian refugees and the poor children that have been injured and wounded during that war. And many of them recently also coming, more and more injured people are coming to the Israeli borderlines and been taken here to the city of Tzfat, to the hospital Ziv, to be treated for their wounds. But the big situation now is that a huge population is demobilized now from their towns, from their villages, and they're trying to find shelter and some safe haven by the Israeli borders. That's why I'm here calling you together, our friends throughout the world, people that are prayer intercessors, people that can intervene with the Spirit, people that are together with us in one alignment for favor over those poor, innocent refugees, and also for a lot of wisdom for our leaders to make the right decisions.
The number of refugees, according to the UN, has ballooned from around 160,000 to close to 300,000, and they keep coming at this refugee encampment here on the Israeli-Syrian border. The Israelis are not allowing these refugees to cross their border, but they are providing aid, and here's how that aid is working. They're taking tons of food and medical supplies across, and we watched last night Israeli soldiers escort trucks up to this fence. It's a very sensitive border. They then open a section of the fence. They then drop the aid, close it, withdraw and pull back, and only then are Syrians able to come and pick up that aid and distribute it. This is being caused by what may prove to be one of the final chapters of this civil war, as Syrian government forces seek to crush remaining rebel strongholds.
We are here actually on Mount Ben Tal, overlooking the Syrian border right behind me, while at this very moment there is fighting going on not far from us, maybe half a mile away. The Assad regime is bombing the rebels. Now that's from the air. You hear this in the sky? This was a bomb that was dropped out of an airplane. That's crazy, crazy, crazy. Look at this. They are really between the rock and the hard place right now over there. And I'm sure that maybe some people of the international community would try to intervene, because there'll be a massacre going on behind me just within the next few days. There's women, there's children, we can hear the bombing everywhere. So maybe we should a little bit unite together in some prayer and try to ask God for some peace to this thorn area that has been under attacks for so many years now. The poor rebels that were trying to seek for some freedom, and they started to go against the Syrian army about 7 years ago. They've been defeated from Dara. This is where the whole war started. They are trying to accumulate here near the Israeli borders, seeking maybe for some intervenence by the Israelis. House of Destiny, you are Christian people helping a hospital in Israel, formed maybe by the Jewish government of Israel, led by a Druze doctor, saving life of Muslims coming from the other side of the border and also here in Israel. That from there we learned that saving one life, it doesn't matter whose life, but one life is saving the whole world. So you were able to see right now what we were able to do in the past, thanks to your sowing and your giving. And we want you now more than ever. We need you here to stand together with us in Israel so we can make a change and keep on doing the good deeds here when the situation is getting more and more hectic down in the south and in the northern parts of Israel. Just in the last few weeks, Israel was doing several military drills to get prepared in case there'll be a simultaneous war in the north or in the southern parts of Israel. We have seen the Hamas getting stronger right now, burning the entire southern parts of Israel with the arson kites and the balloons that they are launching into Israel. We see the army of Syria getting closer and closer to our southern borders, and they may use it as a trick or maybe some kind of a way to deceive us that they are kind of fighting against the rebels, but they're entering with a lot of army into the area that ever since 1974, the ceasefire agreements between Israel and Syria needs to be demilitarized. And now they have massive amount of army over there together with Russian Air Force there, Iranian proxies and Hezbollah. So Israel has always to be alert. And on the other hand, we have this humanitarian crisis where rebels and refugees, women, children, just last night there was massive attacks by the Syrian army on the southern parts of Syria where refugees were injured and killed, and some of them were rushed back into the Israeli hospitals to be treated. So you know guys, this is really where the rubber meets the road. This is really when we need you to stand together with us and sow a seed so we can make these changes and we can help the people that needs your help. If you are Israel partners, maybe you consider to put a little bit more effort into that. And if you're not Israel partners yet, please get into the right page and just join in. It's only $18 a month and you're going to sow a constant seed into Israel, bless the people in need, and for sure be blessed in return. Giving is a great, great pleasure, is a great honor when you give towards something that is righteous and changes the world, mending the world and saving lives. And specifically, God has spoken through Abraham and to Abraham, and he said, whoever blesses you will become a blessing. And through you and your family, you will bless the entire families of the world. So we need you to consider and to make a decision, pray about it, meditate about it. By the end of the day, we want you all to join into the Israel partnership where you can really, really bring goodness and make a change in this world. I love you a lot, Doobie from the Golan Heights. Stay tuned because there's more updates on the way. Bye for now.
Thank you so much for joining us today. There's 4 things I want you to do. 1, like this video. 2, subscribe to our channel. 3, share with a friend. 4, click the Give Now button that allows us to do what we get to do in spreading the gospel of Jesus Christ all across this earth. God bless you guys. Thank you so much.